Hey, hi. I don't know what you're doing out here, but you're totally invited to come inside. I might have something cool to show you, and in all honesty, I'm kind of lonely, and would very much appreciate having someone to talk to as of late, but it's your choice. Oh, there you are. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you like the place. I got plenty of games, among other things. As for me, I'm nobody special. I'm just a broken guy that loves music, plays games, and makes horrible decisions in life and lives to regret them. In all honesty, life just really sucks as of late. And if you're living in the same year as me, you could probably relate. That being said, I'm not going to live with this kind of mindset. I'm going to get better. And in an attempt to be more positive and make myself less sad, I decided that I'm just gonna play some cool retro games for the first time. It's going to be quite an experience. Would you like to join me? Okay, that's fine. You can just watch instead. I do have some things I would like to talk about. Back when I was younger, my cousins gave me a hand-me-down Xbox 360, and that was my first true experience with gaming, unless you count mobile games and flash games on third-party sites and apps. The Xbox 360 at the time was a very alien thing to me. It had some Halo games, some other third-party stuff, and even though I didn't know how to use the internet or any of the systems that made it such a great console, it was truly an amazing experience. I spent so many hours playing split-screen Slayer on Halo 3. It's truly one of the most nostalgic pieces of technology ever created. Originally, I was going to get an Xbox 360 to make this video with. However, when I got it, the disk drive failed, and I had to return it. And just like college, I just wasted a bunch of money. I do not know if I'm going to get my money back as of recording. So I hope that the Xbox One gameplay of 360 retro games is enough to satisfy you. Thankfully, this video is not actually about the Xbox 360 or retro games. It's about something else, though it is connected. A few years ago, when I was still in online college, I was reading one of the textbooks for biology, one of my favorite subjects, and at the end of one of the online pages, this weird out-of-pocket statement shows up. Life is complex, and death is the alternative. At first, I thought it was kind of insane and a bit humorous to have in a textbook of all places, but it is the truth. Life, physically, mentally, emotionally, regardless of how you look at it, is complex. And that complexity is felt by almost everyone. That's not to say complexity is bad. It can lead people to greater forms of understanding, expression, discovery, personal growth, not to mention many ways to be happy and appreciate living in this world. But for many people living in this world right now, there is nothing appealing about any of the stuff I just said. So many people in my generation alone are struggling in ways that older generations just can't comprehend and or are apathetic to. Whether it's the rise of wealth inequality, mental health issues, self-destruction, or cultural and artistic stagnation, it's not hard to think that we were born into this world and it was not made for us to exist, let alone survive. For many people, life becomes meaningless, depressing, unfulfilling, and when that happens, we usually cope. Nostalgia is a common coping mechanism that people use to make life feel manageable and overall less bleak. It can make the past feel better than it actually was and give us a sense of direction for the future. Nostalgia is a sentimental longing for the past, often referred to as the good old days. Every generation has their own version of this nostalgia, memories of times that were very important to us and giving us a sense of purpose. The problem with nostalgia as a coping mechanism for dealing with reality is that it creates an alternate version of reality that never existed and could never exist. It only seemingly existed because we were ignorant to the problems of life because we didn't have to deal with them at the time of this nostalgic past. The problems that we face in life now did not spontaneously happen because we got older. We just became more aware of the problems because they affected and were caused by older generations and positions that we are now in. And, of course, we're not innocent in this either. Oftentimes we use nostalgia as a compass for life, and that compass is inherently flawed because it often keeps us from moving forward, anchoring us to a very simple, narrow-minded view of life and reality where happiness only exists in things we already know exist and not the unknown that we can always explore. It's basically the belief that we peaked in life and that it's all downhill from here. What a pathetic way to think about life in the world. Like, oh, your peak was in high school and everything else is like downhill? At that point, you should just kill yourself. Edgy semantics aside, that's not to say that nostalgia is all bad. Revisiting our past is considered a good thing, both culturally, educationally, personally, showing us what we have versus what we had. Overall, while the past is extremely important to us, we are not bound to it, and our happiness exists just as much in the future as it does in the past. The unknown always has more opportunities for us to find happiness than what we already know. It's only a matter of our willingness to step out into the unknown and explore. Honestly, the Xbox 360 was great, but it was far from perfect. I'm honestly divided on whether or not I should actually try to get another one, or just wait to upgrade to a Series X. It's kind of a choice between permanence and access, because on one hand, I would have the ability to permanently play games like Jet Set Radio Future and any other 360 game that isn't backwards compatible, or I could just have access to new games that pique my interest in these future years. There is no wrong decision, but I have to make a choice. I'll let you guys decide in the comments below.
Yep, and the number 2 nozzle won't work either.
What? Are you for real? We can't live
Oh, well.
without them. I knew I should
Whatever
have come
happens,
here. I'm only 18.
happens.
I don't want to die yet. I've never even been with a woman. Somebody help!
Nihilism is very different from nostalgia, and is often at odds with it. It is a rejection of all religious, moral, intellectual, and ideological principles out of the belief that life is meaningless. Basically, nothing matters. Personally, I do not believe it is possible for any human being to be completely nihilistic, but I do not think it is a coincidence that my generation suffers from this ideology the most. Nowadays, nihilism, in my generation, is often referred to as doomerism, which is basically nihilism combined with pessimism, determinism, and existentialism. It leads to a sense of disillusionment, hopelessness, and melancholic despair for life. I could go into detail and talk about all of the historical context that led up to this point, but I want to use a more personal example for the sake of making this video a bit easier to understand. For a while, I've been trying to have conversations with my father about the problems that my generation has to face and what I believe and why I say and do the things I do, and for the most part, he just does not get it, and always goes back to the same conclusion over and over again, that humanity has strayed away from God. My father is Catholic. Religion is his coping mechanism. It is his way of simplifying the complexity of life to where everything can be attributed to some being in control of everything. He has called me a nihilist multiple times, because most Christians can't comprehend life without the stability and simplicity of religion, because that is too scary for them. That's not an insult, that's just the way I see it without the ability to have that mindset myself. My generation grew up with the internet and had unprecedented access to information about not just the world's past and the understanding we got from decades of innovation, discovery, and tragedy, but also where it's going in real time, and it's hard to see a pretty picture of the future sometimes, especially a simplified one. The world that my father's generation is living in is smaller than the one mine is, and because of this, we do not have luxuries like ignorance or religion, faith, institutional trust to help us with the complexity and hardship of life. It's also worsened by the fact that there is a genuine lack of human empathy and understanding from those around us, not to mention a genuine lack of art that reminds us and represents us and how we feel and see the world. It's not hard to see where this all leads to, but like I said, I do not believe that it is completely possible to be nihilistic. Even if life is completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things, we as humans still find ways and give meaning and purpose to everything we experience, even going down to the fundamentals of what makes us human, such as our emotions. Actually, I said actually 2 times, god. When you think about nihilism without all the modern doomer stuff, it actually is a more uplifting and liberating worldview than we often give it credit for. If your life truly has no purpose for anyone or anything or any reason, then your life, for the most part, is in your hands, and there is nothing ideologically stopping you from creating a better life for yourself and those you care about. Everyone has the ability to do this. Granted, there's a lot of asterisks to that because of how society is structured, but broadly speaking, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. What often stops people from doing this is, unfortunately, in order to make that a reality, we have to embrace the complexity of life head on, and that is not an easy thing to do. And for a lot of people, no matter how bad their lives are, there is a sense of comfort and familiarity with dealing with their daily challenges that, well, just feels easier. It's a kind of complacency that I honestly do not get. Is it that scary to try something new that you would rather live a life that would make you wish you were dead? Apparently my father finds that scary, so I should probably shut up. That being said, nihilism does not offer any positive or tangible incentives to do anything productive for yourself or humanity as a whole. Nihilism believes that knowledge is unattainable, and I think that's BS for many reasons. Even if life's complexity will never truly be comprehensible to us, we have spent our entire history slowly comprehending it. We haven't been perfect, but we've been making progress, and we've been doing all of this for the benefit of humanity as a whole, and this time period is no different. We are not at the end of history, unless the Great Filter Theory is true. We are living in one of the most informed time periods in human history so far, and because of this lack of ignorance, every single one of us individually has the ability to make our lives better, and all of us collectively are moving towards making life better via new discoveries, experiences, and innovations. But we can't do any of that if we are stuck in the past or believe it is all meaningless to begin with. Hey, thanks for sticking around and hanging out with me, by the way. I did mention that I had something cool to show you, and unfortunately, I need more time to work on it. So, I'm sorry. I can tell you what it is, though. It's a new music series on my channel. I've recently been really getting into music these past few years when it comes to listening to it, enjoying it, and learning about all the artists behind it, and I wanted to create this new series on YouTube and Newgrounds. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I will making it. That being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night, and I will see you next time.